and I am back with another Christy's Beautiful Life Best of 30 Days of Sketches. This is the sketch that I'm going to be pulling inspiration from, and it was created by Laura Rumble for National Scrapbook Day in 2018. I've pulled out some really old embellishments this go around. These are brads that were from close to my heart millions of years ago. I also have these photo corners, which I believe came in Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and I plan on inking them with Peeled Paint Distress ink and my little dauber by Tim Holtz as well. I have this sticker book that was gifted to me by Vicki Booten. It was gifted to me back in 2019, and I am still trying to use it up. I know I won't be using everything. I'm just trying to use the elements that I know I'm going to, and then eventually I'll pass it on to those that like the pink. It is also Wood Grain Wednesday, so I will be putting in some wood grain, and I have these adorable little garden tools by Some Assemblage Required. I absolutely love this lawnmower and hope I get to use it, but probably not on these embellishments because it's rather large. I also have some P13 little word stickers as well as phrase stickers. That's the best way that I can describe both little sheets that I have. They also came in Not Just for Boys Kit Club kits. And then I have these really old, really old metal framed tags. And then this Word Discover one, I won't be using it, but it is also in with these little tags. And also digging into the past, I have these cork shapes by Close to My Heart, and those are early 2000s. Can I please get rid of something? And earlier on this year, from 2020, I have the beautiful Timber collection. I'm only going to be using this one sheet because I absolutely love this plaid, but I'm going to be using it as the base for my embellishments. So what I'm going to do is a bunch of 3x3 little squares because that's the inspiration that I'm pulling from this rather large rainbow sketch. I'm going to be taking those 3 little squares that are supposed to represent the photos and making 3 little squares, but I'm trying to figure out how to get this done. Now, truth be told, you guys, I throw a bunch of elements together not having a clue what I'm going to be doing. I look at the sketch, I see what is being used in the sketch, and I try to pull those similar to but not exact elements. Say there's a banner in here, or there's photo corners in here, and there's squares. So I was going to do the little squares, and then I realized I needed a second little square to represent the quote-unquote photo, and that's where I pulled in my wood grain. However, I did not have enough wood grain for all 4 squares. I thought I was going to be able to get away with using 2x2, but I needed to do 2.5 by 2.5. So what I did was that I used the packaging from the Some Assemblage Required wood pieces, and it worked out beautifully. Now, I know that they don't match exactly. They're, light wood, dark wood, all that good jazz, but I am perfectly okay with that because the elements that I use to go on top of them will all be similar too. So every single one of them are going to get this darker green wood, not wood grain, the darker green photo mat or photo corner, and they also will get banners, they'll get tools, things like that. So everything will make them look cohesive even though the wood grain does not match. And I was pretty happy with myself that I was able to come up with another wood grain without actually going into my stash and pulling out a full sheet of wood grain. I was just trying to go through my scraps when I noticed that I could end up using, packaging. So I thought that was great. Anyways, pulling all the elements, like I said, I divide and conquer. I put I put all the elements, I divvy up all of my elements that I have picked out. And I am working with, like, following the sketch exactly. So I have my little photo corner off into the bottom left. Then I have my banner piece up into the right. And I'm just going to be adding my own personal touch from here on out. I am looking for more little banner pieces. So I'm going to use these little cork ones, which is actually perfect because I plan on using real cork as well. So I was like, oh, these work out perfect. So it also brings in a little bit of cork in case I don't get these on in case I don't get the real cork on these, I have some cork. I'm going to make these stars a little bit darker as well, so that way everything kind of matches the plaid that I have going on. The lime green was just a little too lime green, and I'm just going to tuck them in for a little bit more interest. The photo corner and the banner was just not enough for me, so I added a little bit more. The the frames, truth be told, are just something that I really wanted to use. It doesn't have anything to do with why or anything like that. I just really wanted to pull in these frames because it's been a while since I have used them, and I do have a few in my stash. I also have one of those tag maker dealio dudes, and so I've got a ton of just the frame pieces, which I have to make the centers for. Yes, that I do. So I have a lot, and I want to start using them up. I want to start using a lot of things up, you guys, just because I like the fact that I get to bring in new stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, do I put something over the hole? I think yes, I should fill in the tag hole because one, it'll bring in more interest, and two, the little twirly bits of the twine actually do help fill in the space. I don't know how to exactly describe it, but you add that tiny little bit of twine and it does help add interest, texture, things like that to a little cluster. So I'm definitely going to put twine in all of the little tag holes. And I'm not too worried about having them stick out of, not staying contained within the little 3x3 squares. So yes, I do have to, I'm not worried about, staying within the 3x3 squares because it's a little cluster. It's a little embellishment. I'm trying to figure out how to attach the vellum tag. So I'm going to be pulling out some glue dots and just putting it behind where I have the twine attached. And I'm just going to leave it right there. So the first one is just plain Jane, leaving it kind of a little blank, but then I decide to put a quote on it later. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that just yet. I took out all the small tools and thought that they were the perfect size for my 3x3 little squares. And when I added this tool on top of the tag, it was a little too heavy. And so I had to add some glue behind the tool underneath the tag, so that way the glue doesn't stick out behind the vellum. So going to do that. And then here is where I add my little phrase sticker. The best thing about these stickers, A, they're very super sticky, and B, I am able to stick my non-stick side of my foam sheets and then use the sticky side. So I just basically made a dimensional sticker without needing any additional glue. So that's a true bonus in my book. All right, moving on to the next one. I'm trying to just scatter the elements differently for each cluster, but also keeping everything around the banner area. I did not want to move farther down into the, oh, I'm sorry, I missed it, into the photo corner. I didn't want to move down there. So I'm trying to keep everything contained next to the banner and just give the banner a little bit more interest. So far I'm just super stoked. I really like how they all look. And this last one, because it's a little bit more spread out, I have to kind of figure out how I want everything that doesn't look like anything else, if that makes any sense. I am trying to put all of my pieces down so that way they aren't all identical. I don't want my clusters to be exactly the same, so that way they are, they're all unique. Adding a little teeny tiny arrow that was on my cork sticker sheet, because at this point I thought I was done and I didn't think it needed anything else, but I do like the addition of the little cork. And now I am going to move on. I'm going to move past the sketch and just do something rogue, because I really wanted to play with this frame. So I went and I cut another 3-inch little strip of this plaid paper, stuck it behind, and to fill in my photo frame gap, and then to make it so it doesn't stick to my messy mat, I am going to cover up most of the adhesive just with my scraps of wood grain that I had going on. Then I'm going to take a wood grain piece and make a banner out of it, so that way it covers up a big portion of the cork piece. I do have to remember that I inked the edges of all my wood grain pieces, which I don't think I mentioned earlier. I wanted the wood, especially the lighter wood pieces, to blend in with my plaid a little bit better, and so I just took some Distress ink in ground espresso, because that's sitting always on my desk. I just took that and put it around, and it makes the lighter wood blend in very beautifully. So I had to do the exact same thing to this light wood piece, just so that way it matched everything else. Not that I need to use these all together, but I thought it was really cool. And then I decided to add the shovel to this little cluster because it was the perfect size. It fits in that little corner absolutely perfect. I have no clue if I'm going to use it or not, but I really do like it. I'm going to ink this little saying that I got off of my word sticker, or my word, my tiny word sheet from P13. Just says, just perfect. Stick it on top of my shovel to give it a little bit of dimension. These were the little squares that I planned on using. I just didn't know how, because I ended up using the tags instead of these. So I'm thinking that when I use these on a project, that I will be I'll be adding the brads to the project as well, and then they look like little frames themselves, and that's why I want to add them to the project, because I think that they match my 3x3 little squares, and so I think that they'll be a great addition when I actually put these on a layout. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had so much fun just grabbing random things and putting them together and making cute little clusters. Like I said, I had absolutely no idea where this was going to even go or what I was going to do, when all I had to work with was a layered square, a photo corner, and a banner. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it, and be sure to check out the playlist to see who all is playing along today. All right, thank you.